Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's do a full coverage vinyl wrap today. We're going to start with a 20-ounce skinny, and I got this vinyl from BAMP Custom Creation. It's called Deck the Palms, and it's an opaque vinyl, so it's going to have full coverage. And this cute little decal I got with the last subscription box. So I'm going to wrap it around my cup like I normally do and kind of crease where I want it, and then I'm going to take my Sharpie and draw a line where I want the bottom of my cup to be. Use my paper cutter, cut all the extra off, and move on to the next step. So the next step is putting the vinyl on, and I'm going to use the hinge method like I normally do. And I did not line this up correctly, and we're going to see how incorrectly I lined it up just a little bit later. But I'm going to wrap it around the cup as best I can, try to keep it straight, and I'm going to use my great big felt edge squeegee to kind of just shimmy it on. Now this vinyl is very forgiving, so if you do get a bubble or a crease or something like that, you can kind of just lift it up and smooth it back down, and it really is like butter. And I'm so excited to try this out with y'all. This is my new Bell custom edge trimmer. And that little thing is maneuverable. You can put it down super low, put it up super high, whatever you want to do. It cuts like a dream, and you can use this little cover that goes over that blade as a spacer, and then you just tighten your little nut back down, and boom, you have it where you want it. It is super easy to use, and it really does cut like a dream. And this decal is one of those white back printed decals. I cut around the edge of it just to get rid of as much of that excess as I could, and I'm going to use the hinge method, and I'm going to center this up to my eye. Maybe it's right, maybe it's not, but we're just going to go for it. And I'm going to kind of squeegee that on and move on to the next step. And that next step is, of course, going to be some vinyl striping. But I don't want to use vinyl, so I'm going to use this nail tape. It's going to take me a second to figure out which two nail tapes I want to use, because we can't use just one. And then I'm just going to go for it. The first one is this really pretty kind of seafoamy green, and I'm just going to line the very top, the very bottom, and then my seam with this. These kind of matte looking shimmery ones, the sticky on them is just a little bit different than the sticky on the other ones that I normally use, and you have to really press it down, and if you move it around too much or you touch the sticky too much, it's not going to stick anymore. So I actually did these stripes a ridiculous amount of times before I got them to stick how I needed them to stick, and even then when I put epoxy on them, they wanted to like be janky on me. It was not a fun time. This next one is this real pretty kind of soft pink, and it's the same thing. You don't want to touch the underside, the sticky, on any nail tape really, but these were just kind of hard to manage, but they really are pretty, and just kind of set the cup up. And it was at this exact moment that I saw how off my side to side, top to bottom is. So I'm going to show you my mess up. These decals, they're not super forgiving, but you can move them around if you're super gentle with them. You do want to watch out when you pull it up because it will pull your vinyl. It is very sticky underneath there. It will pull your vinyl up. So I did have some bubbles of my own creation, but it went right back on nice and smooth. It is clear backed, so if I did have a little mishap, I could just go in and cut that little piece out, and it's really none the wiser because it kind of disappears a little bit under epoxy. So for the epoxy layer, I'm going to put platinum from Feather Bear Bling in there, and I'm just going to put the tiniest little amount in there. I don't want to overcomplicate this cup. I want the design in the background to show, and I'm just going to full on cover this. I think this is about 20 mLs of a fast set epoxy, and it's just going to give us a little shimmer, and that's all I did with this cup. Every time I epoxy a cup, I always go into this top and that bottom rim, and I just kind of take off all that excess, and that kind of helps to ensure a little bit that I don't get those little bubbles or muffin tops or whatever. And here we are, all nice and done. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Hope to see you again next time. Bye.